But I've heard, and like, of course, the only thing I can cite here is I'm part of a Signal chat that has protesters in it. And my sources in there tell me that protesters will be coming to Starbase. Now, do I know when this is? Not 100%. I don't think it's going to be for this flight. But the logistics of them going to Starbase, and you've heard all the horrible things, right? Like you've heard all the, I don't really want to get this video demonetized, so I can't really say what they are, but the things that they've done to the Tesla dealers is just horrible. Horrible things. People are scared for their lives now. Why would you do that to the employees? They have nothing to do with that, with Elon. Anyway, that's beside the point. Protests, you can protest in a way that's not going to hurt people. So, because you can disagree with somebody, that's fine, but just protest in a way that's not going to hurt anybody. So I've heard, part of a Signal chat, which is strange enough, that there are some people that are completely planning a big trip to Starbase to protest Elon and Starship. They want to put the pressure on Starship, on SpaceX, even though SpaceX is a private company. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. The reason why they were doing it with Tesla is so they can hurt Elon's bottom line. But the investors in SpaceX are completely different than the investors in Tesla. It's not a commercial product. It's not a consumer product. It's a rocket that NASA uses, the Department of Defense uses. They don't care. They're not going to be like, oh, sorry, we're not going to send people back to the International Space Station. We're going to cancel all of Artemis because there's a couple of protesters. But there was, what I heard recently is that there's going to be about 2 buses full of people going to Starbase or to a launch and protesting during these launches. Now, if you go for a launch and there's thousands of people there that are in support of SpaceX, and you are a protester that's anti-SpaceX, you're going to rile up this crowd of people that are supportive of Elon and his mission to get people to Mars. And that's probably what they want. They want people to be riled up. They want fights. They want to be in the news. They want people to go to jail. They want to cause a scene. They're protesting with, dangerous means. So I've heard South Padre Island for a launch, because if there's thousands of people at South Padre Island, they can make the biggest statement. And there's also been a few people, like stragglers, in like going down to Starbase and like holding up signs every once in a while, like protest signs, and talking to people on the side of the road. Have a few friends down there. They wanted to be anonymous. They didn't want any attention drawn to them, but they said there were some protesters that took them aside and said, how dare you support Elon and his BS down at Starbase. And like SpaceX, they wanted to cancel Starbase, is what I've heard. They were telling this person that's a huge SpaceX supporter, had a SpaceX t-shirt on, SpaceX hat, like, go Elon, go SpaceX, let's get to Mars, nuke Mars, the whole thing, like buys the merch, everything. They were telling this person that Elon is evil. And the fact that they were at Starbase, which is in the middle of nowhere, it's 30 miles away from anything. Like it's literally like the most desolate place you could ever go. And these people made it a point to get in their cars and drive down there and then protest. Like it wasn't even, it's like, what, the people that work at SpaceX are going to stop working there? No, that's not going to happen. They're not going to be like, hey, oh, by the way, you got a good point. I'm going to stop my job where I make $180,000 a year making this rocket because you just don't like the way Elon does politics. No, they got families to feed. They're not going to stop working there. They're going to be, oh, by the way, yeah, oh man, thanks for opening my eyes. That's not going to happen. So there might be like one person that's like, huh, you got a point with something. But if they're dangerous people and they do dangerous things, they'll be looking at this shot. They'll be looking at this view right here and protesting with their signs and telling everybody to go home. Yeah, it's just the fact that these people decided that it was a good idea to go down to Starbase, like 20 miles away from Brownsville, and they're driving. They're not. These people aren't from Brownsville or anywhere near Starbase, anywhere near anything that Elon does, and they decided to go protest. And there were a few of them. There's like 5, I think, of them. But the protests are ridiculous down there. I can understand that. I can understand where they're coming from. If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody, right? If you don't like their politics, don't vote them in. You know, you have a voice, vote for the people that you want to vote for. But also, if you want to protest after the fact, that's totally your right. It's annoying for some of us, but it's also their right to protest as long as they do it peacefully and don't hurt people, you know?